Hey, welcome back to the Ascend Bible Church podcast. This is Pastor Mitch hanging out today with Pastor Jon.
What's up?
Hey, Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
How about you?
Good. Doing pretty good. Christmas gifts? Anything cool?
Yeah, I got a pair of Nike Dunks that I really enjoy. I wear them on Sundays now, so there you go.
Nice. Yeah.
Pastors and sneakers kind of thing.
Yeah, preachers and sneakers. You were wearing them. If you watch our Sunday morning live stream, you can see in them this week.
Look at that.
They're pretty cool
got
shoes.
A little sneak.
So, yeah. A little sneak of the sneaks.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's jump into the podcast.
What about you?
Me. Man, I got all sorts of cool little stuff. I got a pair of shoes. I'm wearing them right now too. Here, we'll take them off.
Oh, man.
Maybe you can smell this through the camera. These bad boys right here.
No sponsor.
So this is a really cool shoe that Nike released. They're called City sneakers. Have you ever heard about these?
Nope.
They're supposed to be like indestructible. So if you see here, it says these are made out of tire treads. And then this is that material that doesn't tear.
Okay.
So their whole idea was like, hey, you're supposed to be able to wear these things in the city and they'll never get messed up. So yeah, I think they're kind of cool. So Jacob Stevenson, who listens to this podcast, I told him about them and he's been sending me pictures of them and links that he wants. So shout out to Jacob.
All right.
But yeah. Merry Christmas. Great break. We're back at it.
Back at it.
So we had some good time over break. As a church family, we had our first Christmas Eve service.
Yeah, on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of Christmas Eve service as I try to put my shoe back on?
I think just being with everybody. Like there were actually quite a bit of people here.
Yeah, it was really cool.
All the kids in service with us and having the candlelight there at the end. It's always a cool experience, I think. Yeah. So
those who are wondering, my shoe's just going to stay off the rest of this podcast until we're done to get it back on.
Sounds good.
Yeah. No, that Christmas Eve was great. And then we did the series, An Inexpressible Gift, which is a good time talking about how can we be people that receive the grace of God and are people that we see generosity flow out of us.
Yeah.
And
that was good.
Yeah. Fun one for me to preach too. Just again, like as a Lord putting something on my heart, trying to shepherd our people through it, and then just people responding even just in ways that they were challenged or encouraged by it. So
that's cool.
And now we're back into Mark.
Back at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Back into Mark. It's not behind us, but now it is.
It's there now.
Yeah, there now. Shout out to our producer, Eric, behind the camera.
Yeah.
So again, we're in the series in Mark chapter 12. What I was going to say was the graphic, even subtle change. So I had some fun with that. I had some people ask me, why did we go Stranger Things with the graphic this week?
I didn't even think about that. I just figured you inverted it.
Well, I did, but it's symbolic of the change.
Yeah.
Like we're entering a new part of Mark's gospel. I even heard someone today say like chapter 12 is like the Wednesday of the Passion Week narrative. And so like, you don't always think about it that way. I didn't even say it on Sunday, but like we're really coming towards the end of Jesus's earthly life and ministry. Yeah.
Like the tension is at a high point.
Yeah.
Not quite the highest point, but it's at a very, like it's starting to ramp up really quickly.
But that's the next podcast. That's not this podcast.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have a conversation to start the year off about discipleship. And this is the mission of our church, to glorify God by making disciples. And so we wanted to have a conversation. I ended the service on Sunday kind of with a challenge to our people that said, like, we want to be a church that we can identify as people who are we discipling, and who's discipling us, kind of this being poured into and poured out. And I even said there that church is so much more than just gathering on Sunday mornings. Like the Lord works through the preaching of the word. I believe in it. I mean, firmly. I heard Pastor Brock Graham from Redeemer. He said something very similar in his sermon this week. He said to the church family, he's like, man, I am a preaching guy. Like I believe in preaching, that preaching can change the world. But at the same time, I believe in preaching, but even more than that, I think God can work through those one-on-one disciple conversations through groups and things. And so if you're just coming and listening on Sundays, praise God, but I would just encourage you to, how do we take steps of discipleship this year? And so we're just going to have a broad conversation about discipleship.
Okay.
I'm going to be the interviewer. You're going to be the interviewee. Is that what we say?
Sure.
Yeah. So Jon, would you start, just introduce to our people, just the 4 W's. Say a little bit about him.
Yeah. So our mission of Ascend Bible Church is to glorify God by making disciples. And we define a disciple as somebody who is living the 4W life, is what we call it. And the 4W life is worship, walk, work, and witness. Somebody who's worshiping Christ, walking with Christ, working for him, and then witnessing about him. And so, those are like I don't know if you call them buckets or categories that we try and operate out of as a church as well. Like, why do we do certain ministries? Well, it's because it falls into this W, and we believe that helps us fulfill the mission that we're trying to do. Yeah,
it gives us buckets. It gives us a trellis, whatever illustration you want to go. Are we operating corporately in the lanes that we want to? And then also we encourage people personally to go, how am I operating in these buckets? Even as we this year as a church begin to start to think about church membership, we want to think of church membership in that way. How, again, are our members living out the 4 W's in their life? And so let's talk through each of them a little bit.
Okay.
Worship W.
Yeah. So what you'll find is that each of these have like a personal aspect as well as a collective or corporate aspect to them. The worship W, I think, this one is a lot more obvious with the collective one. It's like, we long to see you on Sunday morning. We want to gather as God's people. We don't forsake
the gathering of believers.
Yeah. And so like that's your corporate part of worship is that, I'm attending and I'm participating in the Sunday worship gathering. The personal side of worship is a little bit harder to define because it also kind of just like flows into the next one, which is walk. But one of the things that I was trying to think through as I was prepping for this was like, what are some of the ways that we personally worship? And some of those ways are like you're intentionally seeking out the idols of your heart and putting them to death. Because, the word of God, you shall have no other gods before me. Like that's the heartbeat behind worship, is like, we long to worship God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. And when we're not doing that, we are not fully worshiping him. And so, what's getting in the way of that? Well, those are idols, whether they're little or massive things that are going on in your life. If you are not worshiping God fully, or if you're not loving God fully, that there's an idol in the way. And so like we're putting to death the sin that prevents us from fully worshiping God.
It's really good. Because as we move into like the walk W, I think we tend to think of the walk as disciplines often, like, what are the things that we do? The typical discipleship things. Right. But the reality of that is like those things' purpose is to lead us to greater worship.
Exactly.
And if they're not doing that, then we're probably missing the mark.
And if we're honest, all of these, like, worship is the foundation of all of them. The reason we do the walk, work, and witness is because it leads to greater worship.
Yeah, and it's out of worship.
And it's out of worship, right. So
that's good. Yeah,
that's why we start with worship.
I really like the conversation too of like working out the idols in our heart, because the disciplines, they can even become idols in themselves.
Yeah.
I'm reading a book to start this year that's I think it's called The Body Teaches the Soul. It's it's the guy who wrote Habits of the Household, like same guy. And he in the last chapter he was talking about how physical fitness, while being a good thing, can even become an idol. And he said, how do you respond when you can't do it? Like if you're sick or if you're hurt, and if there's this discipline can become the thing that even becomes the idol in itself if we don't understand the discipline properly.
Right. Well, like we mentioned Mark a little bit ago. What we're going to see is that this group of people that are specifically the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Herodians, the religious leaders of the time, you're going to find that their devotion to the law and the prophets puts us to shame. Like, they are the most disciplined.
Yeah.
They are doing the right things, but they are also missing the point completely.
Yeah.
And so, like, you think through, like,
which we have to say, like, we need to know that's possible.
Yes.
Like anyone that is listening to this, that like there is this reality that you can become so about doing the things that they're not actually forming you into who you're supposed to be.
You miss the point of why we do them. and it's to lead us to greater worship.
Man, yeah. We were having a good conversation about this, about even singing worship songs the other day, and just even if you don't understand why we're singing these songs, well,
right.
What can they do? That's super good. All right, let's go into the walk W.
Yeah, so the walk W, the personal side of that, we've already kind of hit on, is the personal disciplines that you are putting aside time to just be with Christ, whether that's through prayer, Bible reading, fasting, other spiritual disciplines that you could add in there. Like one of the spiritual disciplines that I practice is the Bible Project puts out what they call Bible Project University. So it's it's like a class.
Yeah, it's cool.
So like 2 or 3 days a week, I'll do a class as part of my quiet time. Yeah,
so it's forming you in a way.
Right.
I appreciate that we use the word walk, because walk, one, it comes out of the Bible, Ephesians chapter 4, other passages, Paul uses that language a lot, but it's also this, it's active, but it's walking with Jesus. So there's this presence component to it, not to overplay the whole footprints in the sand kind of imagery, but it's not, but again, there is this, it's helpful to not think of these things detached from the presence of Jesus.
Right. And if you think through like the book of Mark that we've been studying over the past year, when Jesus picked the 12, the very first thing it says, he picked the 12 to be with them.
Yeah.
Like it's just presence. And then through being with him, he's teaching them,
informing them.
Yeah, he's teaching them. He's doing life with them. It's just being.
So it's almost these commitments and these things that we do alongside Jesus that form us into something that we're supposed to become.
Which again lead us to deeper, more full worship of God.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a pastor in Ohio, and he does these challenge weekends where he takes men and they go out in the middle of nowhere and they have no idea where they are and they have to get out of there. Okay. And he talks about just like the devoted, what you think you're going there for, but what it actually becomes for their spiritual development is so much greater. Again, I just think it's good for us to remind ourselves as we're approaching a new year, thinking about disciplines and things, being more focused on how they form us into who we're to become than to be so focused on just devotion to the discipline.
Yeah. That's good.
That's good.
So that'd be the personal side of walk. The corporate side of walk would be being in communities that focus on helping each other become more like Christ. So like our discipleship groups, small groups, whatever you want to call them. This is the part where we talk about who are you discipling and who's discipling you. Growth, Christian growth, while there is a personal aspect to it, it does not happen through like
complete isolation.
Yeah, in complete isolation. You're not going to be like this. One of the pastors that like discipled me was like, there are no Lone Star Christians.
Well, even
Lone Ranger
like
Christians.
So if you think historically through one of the more like isolating approaches to spiritual growth, it's probably like the monastery. But keep in mind that even there, they're in the monastic life is in community. Yeah. It's in deep community with ways they function, and so there's this. Yeah, we're not meant to do it alone.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not through like this great individual effort. It's through living life with other people. And
I think it's in the context of community where those things are tested too, where they're actually lived out.
Yeah.
Like you can listen to something, learn something, but once you have to apply it with real people in real time, it's lived out and it's tested. No, that's good. I would say too, even corporately, like the preaching of the word is, why do we do sermons? Well, they're to grow in our walk with Christ, and so it's not just to check a box. And so, okay, then let's move to the work W.
Yeah. So work for Christ, or I've even heard people say work with Christ.
Yeah.
Because we're in Bible Club this week, we're looking at Philippians chapter 2, where it says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you both to will and to do his good pleasure. So like, the work, it's not things we're doing for God. to gain more favor. It's things we are doing in tandem through the power of the Holy Spirit in our lives. So like the personal aspect of work, I feel like this also blends with
they
the
should.
witness.
It's kind of this picture of like we're embodied beings. Things are going to cross over.
Yeah.
They should cross over.
Yeah.
Like they can't all be spiritual things impact physical things. And so they shouldn't be things that just live in our head. They should be lived out in action in the same way that like each of these W's, what you do is going to affect what you're thinking about, which is going to affect who you are.
Yeah. So part of the work W, the personal aspect, is like you're using all of the giftings that you have, whether they be spiritual, physical gifts like financial means, or even the job that you have, and then you are using those to help further the kingdom. That you are using those as worship to the Lord. Yeah,
time, talent, and treasures is one of the ways I've heard those broken up. So time, what are we doing with our time? Talent is what are you doing with your giftings? Treasures, how are you using your resources?
Exactly.
And it's this picture to stewardship. Which like I think the healthy understanding of work goes almost all the way back to the garden. Like we're given and entrusted work to do.
To work it and to keep it.
Yeah. This picture of what's healthy dominion. So
yeah. Yep. So like there's that personal side where, you're using your time, your talents, your treasures to help further the kingdom, to help with worship, to help further your worship, deeper, fuller worship of God. And then through the corporate aspect is like one of the ways that we say it here is like you're actively participating in volunteering.
The picture of the body. We need you.
Yeah, we need your help.
The church family body needs everyone to play a role for it to function in its healthy form.
And so like, we have several opportunities, for you to be able to do that, whether that's serving in kids, whether that with the church-wide email that's going out later today or tomorrow, like cleaning the church. Like there are things that there's ways to serve regardless of your
and
time.
There's this flex into it too, where there's this like we talk about serving out of gifting, then there's this sacrifice, then there's, as we talk about serving in kids, one of the things we're going to share recently is like as we have more babies come, more of our core people that serve in kids are going to be stepping aside, which means other people need to be raised up to serve in those roles. And so, and it's kind of all of us owning all of that. It's like nobody looking around and going, well, that's your thing. It's like, no, it's kind of all of our thing to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of the corporate and the personal side of working with Christ.
And then witness.
Yeah. So witness, I think that's a little more obvious. Like how do you do that? You're actively sharing your faith. You're praying for opportunities to be bold. And when those opportunities do come up, you're able to articulate like, here's the hope I have and why.
Yeah. Again, we think of the Great Commission. It's this go out into all the world, but also kind of this as you go component of like being equipped to share the gospel, be a witness to what you've seen. That's what witness is from. It's we've seen Jesus do this in my own life, my own heart. Let me tell you about it.
Yeah. And so like, I'm going to go back to Philippians 2 just because I'm
what's fresh on your mind.
It's fresh on my mind right now. So in that passage, he says, do all things without grumbling or complaining. And then the next sentence, it says, so that you will be like shining stars.
Yeah.
And that, it sounds really weird, but you think about it, it's like a star isn't begging for your attention.
Yeah.
It stands out because it is bright in the middle of darkness.
Yes.
And so like, as we go, as you go, you are that star in the middle of darkness.
It's witness as a picture of a testimony.
Yes.
So when we were working through the book of Acts, and it says that you will be my witnesses. And it's this when we use witness in the legal sense, it's someone giving a testimony about what they've seen happen. And so you're giving this picture of a star. And if we look throughout, again, a lot of Paul's letters, I think of, the letter to the church in Corinth, 2 Corinthians, and he opens the letter and he talks about God comforting you in your time of need so that you can comfort those in their time of need. So this reality that God does these things for us, great, but it doesn't stop there. Right. He does these things for you so that you can actually share what he's done with other people. So that you
can be a witness to other people. Yeah. And so like that's the personal side, but then as you think through the corporate side, it's similar to that. It's just more collective. Like we're participating in our outreach opportunities that we have. Yep. We're going to block parties and doing what we can do while we're there. And if an opportunity comes up to share the hope we have, then we share it.
We want to practice presence. We want to be in the community. We want to create opportunities for people to step in to serve. And then we want to equip and mobilize people to go serve. And so
we're just being hospitable people.
We do all these things. And so again, I know that's not even really for us like today. This isn't so much a concrete dialogue. These may be things or maybe you're just joining our church and you're like, oh, I haven't known these things. We're going to try to get better this year at bringing these things up more. But even in that, I would just encourage you, it's not about like, can I explain what all these things are? Right. It's about what steps is the Lord leading me into within each of these areas this year. If you're looking for a filter going like, how am I going to think through where the Lord's taking me? Look at each of the W's. Like, how can I grow in my worship this year? How can I grow in my walk? How can I grow in my work? How can I grow in my witness this year?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, again, just thanks for tuning in this In Bible Church podcast. If you got more questions, you can email either one of us. You can walk up to us on a Sunday morning. Again, we would love to have conversations about discipleship. In fact, Jon's title, is Discipleship Pastor. And so in some sense, like this is the stuff that gives us life, but I know even for him, like he'd love to meet with you and just go like, let's open up the W's and talk about what it looks like to do these things in your life. So
yep.
Church, you're loved, you're sent. We'll see you next week.
See ya.